All right, everyone, welcome to Simply Bitcoin, the channel that breaks down all the daily Bitcoin news from Twitter, the daily fail, the meme review, software releases, websites by plebes. And today we've got the sponsor of Simply Bitcoin and fellow Bitcoiner, Crypto Cloaks, joining us. We're going to dive right into the numbers. Here we go.
Clark Moody dashboard.
All right, we are currently sitting at a block height of 665,045. The current Bitcoin price, 39,655. Chain rewrite days, 573. The total lightning capacity, 1,060.31 BTC. And the Bitcoin versus gold market cap, another little climb, 5.90%.
Numbers are looking good. That's how good they are.
Phil.
But anyways, guys, if you're confused as to why you heard a digital chicken noise that I'm going to insert tomorrow, it's because we hit an all-time high. That's Satoshi the Bitcoin chicken, which I don't have, but I ordered him on Amazon. You guys are going to see him quick. And if you guys are also confused as to why you heard a new Clark Moody dashboard, every time we have a guest, we're going to ask him to do it, and that's Rick's version. Phil, it's time for
the daily fail. So we have, as you can see, Ral Pal with some more. I can't even. It's not wisdom. It's not even stupidity. There's no word to describe it yet, but eventually it'll exist. So crypto bomb. Okay, I'm leaking some GMI early, not published yet. Tomorrow, eventually publish in Real Vision 2. This article only. I push back strongly on Pfeffer view and the shitcoin view. It's all Metcalfe's law, baby. And ETH equals BTC, like it or not. I do not fucking think so. Okay, they are not the same. That is, I've said this 1,000 times before. This is such incredibly disingenuous behavior from these people. Okay, because they are absolutely sitting there and pitching something that they don't understand to people that don't know any better. Okay, like that was actually, I retweeted that today to this particular comment, because I find this to be, it's actually dangerous, right? Like these people, that have a huge following and that have all these subscribers and stuff like that, they kind of have a responsibility in a way, I guess. Depends on your moral compass. I would feel pretty bad about shilling garbage. Yeah. Anyways, apparently, zero fucks given on his part. So yeah, he's shilling garbage, and he's shilling a terrible narrative that ETH, that has no predictable monetary supply, does not have the same, obviously does not have the same decentralization, and, among other things, it's not the same thing. So horrible fail.
Absolutely. And it just reminds me of what the Winklevi said. And that was also a fail where they try to paint that picture where they try to put Bitcoin and Ethereum on the same boat. And it's just so insincere. Like it's a horrible service to noobs, right? That's my take. I want to hear our guest take. Rick, what are your thoughts on this shitcoinery?
It's the usual sell your reputation for fiat dollars, and that's pretty much what they're doing. I mean, you won't ever catch me doing that shit because I have a moral compass. Some people don't. It's pretty obvious. So.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah.
And guys, for anyone who's confused, those sound effects, those are Crypto Cloaks. And he makes awesome 3D printed stuff. Go check him out. Anyways, Phil, it's time for
the daily meme review.
All right, guys, I swear, this was totally by chance. It's a meme making fun of Raul. Let's check it out. Okay. All right.
All right.
Phil, that's a perfect 10, man. That's a 10 for me. What about you?
Dude, perfect 10. We will
What about you,
explain
Rick?
why soon.
10. It tells the perfect message.
Yeah.
10 from Rick. Yeah, bro. Like, Destiny made that meme pop up. It was hilarious. It made fun of a shitcoiner. It made fun of Raul. And it hopefully it leads noobs away from his garbage, right? So that's why I give it a 10. What about you, Phil?
Another reason I give it a 10, believe it or not, is the whole kind of feel about the video, right? It looks like an educational video. It's really well done. It's got this kind of like easy, animation look. I swear, it's really well done. It almost looks like a public service announcement. I think you're muted.
Oh,
100%. What about our guest?
I honestly gave it a 10 because it was a simple message that says, hey, look what happens if you try to divert and gamble. That's all you're doing is gambling. We've all been down that road. You learned your lesson.
Yeah.
And hopefully this will actually tell people before that happens.
Amen. Like I like to call it the price of tuition. Phil, it's time for
The Daily News, sponsored by
Crypto Cloaks.
All right, guys. So our news for today, let's check out this video and then we'll talk about it in a second.
Let's talk rocket ships. First, Bitcoin. That falls into that category because that's what that is. 39,000. Where's it going?
I mean, can you play the clip in 2012 and 13 when it was at 200 and everybody was laughing at me on CNBC every time I would talk about Bitcoin? Where is it going? It's probably going to 100, then 150, then 200,000. In what period? I don't know. 5 years, 10 years, but it's going there. And the reason is because every time you see all of this stuff happening, it just reminds you that, wow, our leaders are not as trustworthy and reliable as they used to be. And so just in case, we really do need to have some kind of, insurance we can keep under our pillow that gives us some access to an uncorrelated hedge. And it's going to eventually transition to something much more important. But for right now, you're just getting all these data points that prove this thing. It's just the fabric of society is frayed. And until we figure out how to make it better, it's time to just have a little schmuck insurance on the side. And everybody's running in. It's just an incredible thing. I could never have imagined it.
Good to be.
So I want you guys to hold on to that. And then we got a tweet from Tim Pool. He's a major famous podcaster on YouTube, and basically says people selling Bitcoin are making a major mistake right now. I'm buying the dip. Right? I want you guys to pay attention to the last phrase. I'm buying the dip. All right. So why was all that important? So the first part. I can't pronounce his name, but the guy that owns the Golden State Warriors, man, first of all, he's an OG. He's been buying Bitcoin since 2013. That's number one. Number two, he's 100% right. With everything going on in the world right now, Bitcoin is insurance. It's the first time people are allowed to opt out of their centralized money that their government, runs, right? And we all know how that ends up, right? And the Tim Pool thing was so significant, Phil and Rick, because we've seen this developing over the last couple months. This epoch is different. Bitcoin is now mainstream. All of today, when Bitcoin hit 40K, when it touched 40K, CNBC was reporting Bitcoin the entire day. If that is not mainstream, right? Yeah. If a famous YouTube podcaster has nothing to do with Bitcoin, he just talks about world events, is saying stuff like buy the dip, that is the Bitcoin culture kind of metastasizing into the rest of the world, right? So it's awesome. It's glorious to see. I'm really interested to hear your thoughts, Phil, and then Rick.
Okay, so just quickly, I think his comment Shamath, I can't pronounce his name right. I apologize, or whatever his Twitter handle is. The whole schmuck insurance thing, he's saying right now until things stabilize. I think he's got that wrong. Bitcoin is that stabilizing base layer. So it's not like all of a sudden we need this right now because the world is in turmoil. It's quite the opposite. The world is in turmoil and we need this going forward. So I think for that, he's a little bit wrong. But I do want to add, I bought the dip today. That was an absolutely beautiful dip. And I how can you not? I mean, like, I couldn't care less. That's one thing I learned from 2017. I buy all the dips going up. It's like the easiest thing for me to do.
Amen. And I completely agree with you, Phil. The fundamental layer of society is broken. Bitcoin absolutely fixes it. Fix the money, fix the world. Amen, brother. And Rick, I want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I'd say I bought going all the way up to 40. You got to buy 40. Every new 1,000 that you hit all time high, you obviously got to buy it. And I'll do that every single time. And then when it dips, you just got to buy even more. I mean, that's just what you do.
We do.
Yeah. And then just going back to like how everything's like transforming in the US has kind of got me worried and stuff. And literally looking to the future, that's what I think Bitcoin is the only thing that really gives me hope for society or any general like population in the world right now, that we have something to look forward to that's better. I mean, everything around you is just so messed up, and Bitcoin actually gives me hope. So I'm all in, man. Like it might seem cultish or whatever, but I think Bitcoin is the one thing that truly gives me hope for society in the world moving forward, because everything else is crazy.
Absolutely. And you're definitely not one of the only ones to say that. Bitcoin is just, it gives you hope. And I think that a lot of the things that are happening right now is because, man, the foundational level of society is broken. The money's broken. Fiat, it affects your psychology, right? And Bitcoin, you hear this over and over again. It just betters people's lives. And, on that positive note, I have some more awesome news, right? And guess what? This awesome news came from the government. What do you know, right? So check this out. Federally chartered banks and thrifts may participate in independent node verification networks and use stablecoin for payment activities. Independent node verification networks is a very fancy way of saying Bitcoin, right? So I'm just going to read the first two paragraphs I guess it's not an article, it's really an announcement, but the Office of the Comptroller. Could you help me out there, Phil? What does that say? It's the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency. Okay, never heard that word before, but thanks, Phil. Today published a letter clarifying national banks and federal savings associations' authority to participate in independent node verification networks and use stable coins to conduct payment activities and other bank permissional functions, right? To quote it on the bottom, it says, our letter removes any legal uncertainty about the authority of banks to connect to blockchains as validator nodes and thereby transact stablecoin payments on behalf of customers who are increasingly demanding the speed, efficiency, interoperability, and the low cost associated with these products. So we already saw this yesterday. Strike, Jack Mallers, announced that Strike, the app, is going to allow cross-border payments, and it was so cool. He did a live demo. I recommend you guys looking for that video. But he sent $10 worth of currency, U.S. currency, to Europe, and the transaction was completely free. And it was fast because it used Bitcoin's Lightning. It was so amazing. And just hearing that announcement from the government of all people is just, it's a good step in the right direction. Phil, what are your thoughts? And then I want to hear about Rick.
Okay, very quickly, to me, this article simply, I mean, it's bullish. And what it says to me is we're opening the gate for essentially Bitcoin transactions and the soon to be government digital currencies. So they're opening the gate and they're going to start playing nice.
Absolutely.
I think that's bullish for us.
I like our yin and yang, right? Because I'm always like, yeah, it's a good thing. And you're like cautiously optimistic. That's super wise. I agree. Rick, what are your thoughts?
I think it's good. I think it's opening the door completely to allowing Bitcoin and all these other things that we've wanted in the past. And I think it's finally happening and hitting where we've wanted it for so long. Everybody wanted ETFs, all this other stuff, but I think this is going to open the door to really bring it to everybody.
Yep.
Amen, brother. Amen. Phil, we got a software release today. Why don't you tell everybody about it?
Software releases. And we've got JoininBox version 0.1.16 that was released, and the details to that are in the show notes down below.
Awesome. Thank you, Phil. Guys, I just want to give an awesome shout out to our guest. He is our sponsor, so he has a soft spot in our hearts. But not only because of that, I have all his stuff. I literally buy his stuff all the time.
Me too.
Go check him out. Go check out CryptoCloaks.com. They design and manufacture 3D printed products for Bitcoin and other crypto projects. Cases, nodes, mounts, art. It's freaking awesome. I love his stuff. I'm a big fan. He has grenades. They don't explode, but they're 3D printed and they have the Bitcoin logo on them. They're super awesome. Guys, thank you so much for watching another episode of Simply Bitcoin, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Bitcoin plebs build together.